Okay, so just getting used to the whole YouTube thing here. Right, so this video is a breathing anxiety video, just in case there's a lot of people out there who might suffer from being anxious about their breathing or overly conscious about their breathing. So this is kind of what this video is all about. So first thing is to just allow yourself to relax, just focus on your breathing, ironically. Get yourself into a nice quiet space, of course, safe space. And we'll go straight into your breathing. What I want you to do as you're focusing on your breathing is just allow yourself to find your natural rhythm with it. As you find yourself in this natural rhythm, just notice that the sensations, the rhythm, and focus on that. And you may notice the sounds in your environment. You may notice the sound of my voice. And just allow yourself to find that sense of resonance in what is it like to notice your breathing. How does it feel when you're breathing? And do you notice the difference between when you're focusing on your breathing and you're quiet, and when you're trying to interpret what it's like to breathe, and therefore the anxiety then kicks in because you're worried about your breathing, or are you breathing too noisy? Is it too quiet? Can people hear my breathing? And then the anxiety naturally kicks in. So the key to this is actually focusing on your breathing and just finding the quietness. And really all solutions to problems, especially with anxiety, lie in the quietness. But if your mind is quiet, there's no anxiety. So it doesn't matter what you've got, whether you've got a fear of breathing, an anxiety about this, a fear about this, the solution is always in the quietness. So find the quietness now, just notice your breathing. Just notice what you notice about that breath going in and out. And just allow yourself to relax, relaxing into the quietness, into the stillness, and just drift with it. Just imagine you're just floating Just let it take it where it takes you. And if your mind's kicking in, just allow the noise to be there, but just keep focusing on the breathing. Just be resolute with it and focus on the breathing. The mind will try to kick in, it'll try to interrupt, but every time you focus on the breathing, it disappears. It can't do two things at the same time. You might want to try that out, actually. Notice what happens when you're focusing on your breathing and concentrating on that versus allowing your mind to start thinking about the breathing. Now, if you start thinking about the breathing, you'll notice that the anxiety then kicks in and you'll start to think about the breathing and is it too noisy, is it too quiet, and am I going to be able to breathe, and away we go with it all. But if you focus on your breathing and the rise and fall of your breathing, then the noise quietens down, you see. Now the other thing is what Abraham Hicks talks about, this 17-second rule. And the 17-second rule is if you focus on something for more than 17 seconds with full attention to it, it's going to start to build a vibration within you. And you're going to start to attract more thoughts and more thinking on that. And very quickly, you're going to start to go into a spiral with it all, you see. Now, if you catch yourself within the 17 seconds, then you'll find that the vibration decreases and you'll be able to get out of the spiral. But it's okay if you go through the spiral, because that also presents an opportunity to learn about the breathing. So you've always got a get out of jail card with it all. So it doesn't really matter what time of day it is, where you are, what you're doing, because you can always focus on your breathing. Even if the anxiety seems like it's linked to the breathing, it's just a thought, you see. So see how it is when you just focus on your breathing. Yeah, just notice that. Just notice your breathing. Just feel your way into it. What does it feel like? What does the quietness feel like? How does the quietness feel? Could I just surrender even deeper into the quietness, into the stillness? And every time the mind kicks in, I'm just going to remind myself, thank you for the reminder, I'm just going to focus on the breathing now. And every time the mind kicks in and says, well, what about that? You just focus on the breathing again. You see? So simple. The answer is just focusing on the breathing. The mind wants to kick off again, think, well, okay, that's enough of that, it's getting boring now. Well, what about this though? Just focus on the breathing again. So I want you to try this exercise out as you go through the day, as you find yourself hitting that moment in time where the mind starts to reactivate. we can then use this idea to focus on the breathing. So how can we do this in concept? Well, there are a few things that can help us. If you are a member of Calm, for example, if you have the Calm app on your phone, it's a really good one. They've got a selection there on binaural beats. Binaural beats are very good, principally because of the vibration attached to binaural beats. For example, delta waves are best used in the daytime. Theta more sort of in the evening, so just before going to bed. Theta waves are very good. The vibration from that helps to ease the mind, because we're all vibrational energy at the end of the day. So these vibrations help to permeate all our cells and our mind and help us to self-induce the state of relaxation, as it were. Some other good sites are Music for Mind and Body, I think it is. That's a good one. This is a good one. Generally what we're looking at here are binaural beats, delta, theta for the evening, delta in the day, ideally. But find your resonance with it. You know, we're all a little bit different. Sometimes we might want to go into a theta state just to really chill and quiet the mind, particularly if it's very active. I know I sometimes do that myself if I've got a very active mind. So play with it, have a go with this, see where you're at with it, find your groove with it, and half of this is also experiential in nature. It's all about us finding what works for us. So I'd encourage you to find what works for you if you have an anxiety with your breathing. Whether you find this track that I've just recorded right now helps you, whether it then springboards you into binaural beats like delta and theta, or whether you find something else that resonates and quiets your mind. Ideally, we're just trying to find our groove. You know, what's our rhythm? Because we're all very different. We all respond differently. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And of course, as always, do let us know how it goes. And we'll see you guys again soon. Thank you very much. Okay.